Hello students, I am Shanaz and I am here with the third part of lesson number 5, the fundamental unit of life. Now in the previous two parts we have studied the parts of cell, that is cytoplasm, nucleus, cell wall. Cell wall is present only in plant cell, and we have studied cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum. You know, cell organelles are important because all the chemical activities which are taking place inside the cell are due to these cell organelles. Now we will study the next cell organelles, that is Golgi apparatus. As I told you earlier that cell organelles are membrane bound. They are surrounded by a membrane, and these cell organelles are present only in eukaryotic cell. These cell organelles are absent in prokaryotic cell because prokaryotic cells are very primitive type of cells and they are present in unicellular organism. Now this Golgi apparatus was first described by Camillo Golgi. Means this scientist first observed that Golgi apparatus is an organelle which is present in the cell. Then he studied it. First we will study the structure of Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus consists of a system of membrane bound vesicle. Vesicle means you can say flat sacs, SACS sacs. They are flat sacs parallel to each other in stacks called cisterns. Now let us see the figure. In this figure you can see there are folds like something. These folds are called cisternae. These folds are placed parallel to each other, one above the other. जैसे we put a bunch of notebooks one above the other, and that is called stack. So in the same way these cisterns are kept in the form of stack, and it is called cistern. A single one, it is called cistern. When they are placed one above the other in the form of stack, then it is called cistern. Okay, so it is a membrane bound system. Everything is surrounded by membrane. Now membrane of Golgi apparatus have connection with the membrane of endoplasmic reticulum, forming complex cellular membrane system. Now there is you have seen in this figure, I will show you. This green color is endoplasmic reticulum and red color is actually Golgi apparatus. Now this Golgi apparatus, this is Golgi apparatus and this is endoplasmic reticulum, and both are connected with each other. You can see why it is connected, because for the transportation of substances. This we will study in the functions of Golgi apparatus. Now we will see the functions of Golgi apparatus. The function of Golgi apparatus is to pack and dispatch the material synthesized near endoplasmic reticulum. Now what is synthesized in endoplasmic reticulum? We have already seen in the last video. Protein and lipids and some enzymes are synthesized in endoplasmic reticulum. Now this protein, lipid and enzymes which are synthesized in endoplasmic reticulum has to be transported to other parts of the cell, and that is why Golgi apparatus have connection with the membrane of endoplasmic reticulum. It pack the substances which are manufactured in endoplasmic reticulum, and it also dispatch means it also transport the substances to the other part of the cell where they are required. There's just we have studied that protein and lipid help in the synthesis of cell membrane, plasma membrane, and this process is known as membrane biogenesis. So how this protein and lipids reach the plasma membrane? So they are carried from endoplasmic reticulum to plasma membrane by Golgi apparatus. So the function of Golgi apparatus is storage and packing and transportation. Now it is also responsible for storage of substances. The substances which are synthesized in the cells are stored in Golgi apparatus, and this some substances are also modified by this organelle. What is the meaning of modification? To change the construction of something, that is called modification. So here the complex sugar may be made from simple sugar in Golgi apparatus. It means Golgi apparatus converts simple sugar into complex sugar, and this process is known as modification. So Golgi apparatus also modify the substances which are prepared in the cell. Also it also involves in the formation of lysosome. Now lysosome is another cell organelle we will study today only. So Golgi apparatus plays an important role in the synthesis of, in the formation of lysosome. So the important functions of Golgi apparatus are packing the things, store the materials, and it also help in the transportation of material inside and outside the cell. And it also, it is also involved in the formation of lysosome. Cell organelle which we will study is lysosome. Lysosomes are also present in eukaryotic cell. Lysosomes are also membrane bound sac filled with digestive juices. Now these digestive juices which are present in lysosomes are actually manufactured in endoplasmic reticulum. So as it contains digestive juices, it is obvious that it is responsible for digestion of material in the cell. So now we will see the function of lysosomes. Lysosomes actually clean the cell by digesting the waste material which are present in the cell. So it is a kind of waste disposal system of the cell. As in human body or in the body of animals, we have digestive system. Same way, lysosome also function inside the cell. As digestive system works in our body to keep our body clean, in the same way lysosome also keep the cell clean by disposing the waste of the cell. Means it converts the complex substances into simple form. The digestive juices which are present in lysosomes are so strong that they can digest the organic materials. Now it also digests the worn out cell organelles and foreign material. Now you know there are so many cell organelles which are present in the cell. Now after some time, some cell organelles may worn out, may not function well. Okay, so such cell organelles has to be removed from the cell because they then become useless for the cell. So such cell organelles are made up of organic material. So these cell organelles which are not functioning properly in the cell are digested by lysosome. Same way, if any foreign material enter the cell, or if any foreign material is present in the cell which is not required by the cell, it means it has to be removed from the cell. So such foreign material is also digested by lysosome. So lysosome keep the cell clean. As our digestive system keeps our body clean by disposing out waste from our body, in the same way lysosome keeps the cell clean. It removes all the waste and useless things present in the cell. It is possible due to digestive juices or digestive enzymes which are present in lysosome. Now in this figure you can see the structure of lysosome. See, it has a membrane and it is filled with digestive enzymes. Now you will study one more very important function of lysosome. Now sometime if any disturbance is created in cellular metabolism, that is when cell gets damaged, it does not work properly. Now when this happens, when cell gets damaged, lysosome may burst and the digestive juices which are present inside the lysosome digest the entire cell, and that is why lysosomes are also known as suicidal bags of a cell. Why they are called suicidal bags of a cell? Because when some damage is created in the cell, when cell does not work properly, lysosome burst, and when lysosome burst, the digestive juices comes out and they are so strong that they digest the entire cell. It means the cell is killed by, in short you can say cell is killed by lysosome. So lysosomes are known as suicidal bags. Now the another cell organelle is mitochondria. Now why? Mitochondria is very important for cell because it generates energy for the cell. That is why mitochondria is known as powerhouse of the cell. It generates energy in the form of ATP. Now about the structure of mitochondria. Mitochondria have two membrane covering. In the figure you can see there are two membranes of mitochondria. The outer membrane is porous, whereas the inner membrane is folded. Now between these two folds, large surface area is created in which ATP generating reaction takes place. Okay, so between these two membrane, ATP generating reaction takes place. And why the inner membrane is folded? To increase the surface area. Mitochondria have two membrane covering. The outer membrane is porous while inner membrane is deeply folded. These folds increase the surface area for ATP generating chemical reaction. The energy required for various chemical activities needed for life is released by mitochondria in the form of ATP. And the full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate molecule. Okay, so ATP molecules are actually known as energy currency of the cell. Whatever energy is required by the cell for the synthesis of material or for growth or for any reaction which is taking place in the cell is provided by mitochondria in the form of ATP, and that's why ATP is known as energy currency of the cell. Mitochondria are strange organelle in the sense that they have their own DNA and ribosomes. Now, this DNA and ribosome, DNA is genetic material. This mitochondria consists of its own genetic material. Otherwise, other organelles, Golgi apparatus, lysosome, they does not possess any DNA. DNA is present in nucleus. So mitochondria have their own DNA and ribosomes, and therefore they can synthesize their own protein also. Okay. So once again, what is mitochondria? Mitochondria is known as powerhouse of the cell. Why it is known as powerhouse of the cell? Because chemical reaction takes place in mitochondria which generates energy, and this energy is utilized by cell for the synthesis of the material and for all the activities which are taking place in the cell. Plastids are again membrane bound cell organelle. Now these plastids are present only in plant cell. They are absent in animal cell. There are two types of plastids, chloroplast and leucoplast. Chloroplasts are called colored plastids, whereas leucoplasts are called white or colorless plastids. So the colors in the plants are because of chromoplast. Chromoplasts are responsible for various colors like red, yellow, green, orange, etc. in plants. Now, the chromoplast which contain green pigment, chlorophyll, are known as chloroplast. Now, you remember properly that there are only two types of plastids. There are chromoplast and leucoplast. But the chromoplast which consist of green color pigments, that is chlorophyll, are known as chloroplast. This chloroplast also contain yellow and orange pigments. Now chloroplasts are actually responsible for photosynthesis in plants. Now leucoplasts, as leucoplasts are colorless plastic, they store starch, oils and protein granules in the plastids. Okay, the internal organization, if the chloroplast consists of numerous membrane layers embedded in a material called stroma. Plastids have their own DNA and ribosomes. So the internal organization of chloroplast consists of numerous membrane layers, and they are embedded in the material called stroma. So we will see, this is the structure of plastids. It has so many membrane, outer membrane, inner membrane, and there is a space between the membrane, and they are embedded in stroma. There are so many other parts of plastics, but we are not right now going to discuss it. In this chapter we will study only the basic things of all the cell organelles. So you have to remember the function of plastids. Plastids are responsible for chlorophyll. Then plastids are responsible for photosynthesis due to chlorophyll, and leucoplasts are responsible for storage of starch, oil and protein granules. And plastids also have their own DNA and ribosomes, that is they have their own genetic material. Now remember, plastids have DNA and ribosomes, and one more organelle, that is mitochondria. It also has its own DNA and ribosomes. Vacuole. Vacuoles are storage sacs for solid or liquid material. Vacuole are small in size in animal cell and very large in plant cell. In plant cell, it may occupy 50 to 90% of cell volume. So, you can see this figure of vacuole. They are very large in plant cell, but in animal cell they are very small. Now, functions of vacuole. In plant cell, vacuoles are full of cell sap and provide turgidity and rigidity. Now, what is the meaning of sap? Sap means a kind of juice. So, in plant cell, vacuoles are full of this cell sap, and it provides turgidity. Means it keeps the cell swollen. And rigidity means plant cell cannot change its shape easily because of this vacuole. Many substances such as amino acids, sugar, various organic acids and proteins are stored in vacuole. So vacuole also work as the storage sacs in cell, and it stores so many substances which are manufactured in cell. Now, in amoeba, vacuole is known as food vacuole. Now we'll see the figure. In this figure you can see when food particle comes near amoeba, as the membrane of the plasma membrane is flexible, it allows the entry of food particle, and you can see a food vacuole is formed for ingestion of food in amoeba. And in this figure you can see that when the food particles comes near the this unicellular organism amoeba, then here see food vacuole is formed and food is ingested, and slowly, because of the digestive juices which are present in the amoeba, this food is digested and it is converted into simple form. So in unicellular organisms like amoeba, this vacuole also work as food vacuole. Now in this figure you can see this very light green color part which is present in the center is actually vacuole, which is present in plant cell, and it occupies the large volume of plant cell, that is 50 to 90% of plant cell. Now in this figure you can see food vacuoles are also present, and you can see this contractile vacuole. This is contractile vacuole. This is unicellular organism. This contractile vacuole actually disposed waste, water and some material in the cell, and this is food vacuole. Okay, so in this way vacuole works in various ways depending upon the requirement of the cell. Cell division. Now what is cell division? Cell division is the process by which new cells are made. It's called cell division. Now you know why it is necessary for the cell to divide? Because for the growth and for the repair of worn out parts. Now cell division produce new cells. Now production of new cell is required for growth. When a plant is small, its size is small, it means the number of cell in that plant is less. When the number of cell divides and increase, then the size of plants also increases. Just say if if you have a wall, small wall, how to make it large? Just by adding number of bricks in it. If you keep on adding number of bricks, the wall will become larger and larger. In the same way, the cells also gets added in the organism, and the size of the organism increases. In the cell, and the other requirement of cell division is to repair the worn out part of the organism of the body. This is sometime our skin gets damaged, then after a few days it automatically gets repaired. So how it happens? It happens due to cell division. The cell in that part of the skin keeps on dividing and it replaces the old cell by new cell and the wound is repaired or healed, we can say. So cell division is very important in our bodies. Now there are two types of cell division, mitosis and meiosis. Now mitosis is the cell division, is the process of cell division by which most of cell divides for growth. Means the all the cells of our body undergoes the process of mitosis for growth, right? All the cells of our body grow by mitosis, means all the cells divide by this process. Now it helps in growth and repair of tissues in organism. In this type of cell division, mother cell divide to form two identical daughter cell and the daughter cell have the same number of chromosomes as mother cell. Now in this slide you can see in mitosis, see this is mother cell, it has 4 chromosomes. This is just an example, all the cells does not have 4 chromosomes. Chromosomes differs from organism to organism. In human beings, in one cell there are 46 chromosomes. So in the process of mitosis, the mother cell divide to form 2 daughter cell and you can see the number of chromosome in mother cell are 4. In the same way, number of chromosome in daughter cells are also 4 for each. It means in mitosis the number of chromosome in daughter cell is same as that of mother cell. Meiosis is the process by which cell of reproductive organs or tissues in animal and plant cell divide to form gametes. Now what are gametes? Actually gametes are present in male and female reproductive organ. In male, male gamete is sperm, whereas female gametes are egg cells. Now these gametes fertilize and give rise to new organism, that is offspring. So meiosis is the process by which cells of reproductive organs or tissues divide to form gametes. Now meiosis involved 2 consecutive division. In mitosis there was only one step division. In meiosis it consists of 2 step cell division. In meiosis mother cell divide to form 4 new cells. The new cells contain half the number of chromosome than that of mother cell. Now in this slide you can see this is meiosis. In meiosis this mother cell first divide into 2 cell, this is first step of division and you can see the number of chromosomes in mother cell are 4 and this 2 new cell which are produced consist of 2 chromosomes each. Now these 2 cells again divide into 4 cells and each having 2 chromosomes each. It means in the process of meiosis mother cell finally divides into 4 cells and each new cell or each daughter cell have half the number of chromosome than that of mother cell. Why the chromosome becomes half in this case? Because these are gametes, okay, gametes, that is sperm cell or egg cell. Now when 2 gametes fuse then new offspring is produced. So half number of chromosomes are present in each gamete. When 2 gamete fuse then again the number of chromosome will become double. Just say in human beings there are 46 chromosomes in each cell. Now when gametes are produced, each gamete has 23 chromosomes, that is male gamete has 23 chromosomes and female gamete has 23 chromosomes. When male and female gamete fuse then again the number of chromosomes will become 46, that is double. So to maintain the number of chromosomes in offspring, in meiosis the number of chromosomes in daughter cell becomes half than that of mother cell. Okay, we can quickly go through the difference between 2 types of cell division, that is mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis is the process which takes place in all cell for growth and repair, whereas meiosis is the process of cell division which takes place only in sex cells for the formation of gametes. Second point, in mitosis, the daughter cell have same number of chromosomes as that of mother cell. In meiosis, the daughter cell have half the number of chromosome as the mother cell. In mitosis, mother cell divides into two daughter cell, whereas in meiosis, one mother cell divides to form four daughter cells. Mitosis is the process in which division takes place only in one step, whereas meiosis is the process of cell division in which this division of cell takes place into two steps. Now after this, students, I have recorded some videos, animated videos, by which the process of cell division becomes very clear in your mind. As such, here in this chapter we are going to learn only basic things about cell division, but just for your information, please see the videos and you can understand how mitosis and meiosis takes place. So here we end our chapter. Please go through the textbook and revise the things number of times so that you can remember. Okay, goodbye.
Estimated 100 trillion cells, and yet we start life as a single cell. To grow, develop, and repair tissue damage, we rely on cell division. In eukaryotic cells, this process is accomplished by a series of well-orchestrated steps called mitosis. Every day, our bodies must produce millions of skin cells to replace those lost through normal activity. Each of these cells must have a complete complement of the genetic material. Prior to cell division, where the cell divides into two identical cells, the DNA needs to be replicated so that each daughter cell receives an exact copy. Following DNA replication, the chromosomes condense in the nucleus of the cell. DNA condenses by wrapping around cores of histone proteins, forming nucleosomes. This beads on a string structure is called chromatin. As a cell prepares to divide, chromatin coils up further, shortening and condensing the chromosome. The replicated chromosomes are called sister chromatids. The replication of DNA and the formation of sister chromatids is one part of the entire cell cycle. To prepare for cell division, the cell goes through interphase, which can be divided into three distinct phases. During G1 or GAP1 phase, all the organelles and cytoplasmic components, including the centrioles in animal cells, replicate. Then during S or synthesis phase, the DNA replicates. Finally, during G2 or GAP2 phase, all the enzymes needed to aid in the process of cell division are produced. Most eukaryotic cells spend a great deal of time in interphase and a very short period of time actually dividing, a process called mitosis. The cell is now ready to go through mitosis, which consists of prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. During prophase, the chromosomes condense and become visible, appearing as two sister chromatids held together at the centromere. The cytoskeleton disassembles as the spindle begins to form. In animal cells, centrioles play an important role in the distribution of the chromosomes in the dividing cell. The centrioles migrate to opposite poles, establishing a bridge of microtubules called the spindle apparatus, and the nuclear envelope breaks down. Towards the end of prophase, chromosomes attach by proteins in their centromeres called kinetochores to microtubules from each pole, moving the chromosomes toward the equator of the cell. During metaphase, all chromosomes are aligned at the equator of the cell called the metaphase plate. Anaphase begins with the degradation of proteins that hold sister chromatids together, freeing individual chromosomes. The free chromosomes are then pulled by their kinetochores to opposite poles. At telophase, a cleavage furrow forms in the center of the cell. This indentation is made from a constricting belt of actin filaments surrounding the inside of the cell's circumference. Chromosomes cluster at opposite poles and begin decondensing as the nuclear envelope reforms around them. The spindle apparatus disassembles as the microtubules are broken down into tubulin monomers that can be used to form the cytoskeleton of the daughter cells. In animal cells, cytokinesis completes cell division by extending the cleavage furrow to completely separate the newly formed daughter cells. Since plant cell walls cannot be constricted by actin fibers, vesicles form an expanding membrane partition called the cell plate. Like animal cells, plant cells use cytokinesis to finish the division of the contents of the cytoplasm between the two identical daughter cells. During the cell cycle, certain checkpoints are encountered to make sure the process is occurring accurately. And if it is not, the cell cycle will stop at the checkpoint and correct, or possibly inhibit that cell from dividing. The first checkpoint is the G1S checkpoint and is considered the primary point at which the cell cycle continues or stops. External signals and growth factors can influence the cell cycle and affect the progress at or before this critical checkpoint. The G2M checkpoint allows cells that have successfully completed all three phases of interphase to begin mitosis. The last checkpoint is the spindle checkpoint, ensuring that all chromosomes have attached to the spindle in preparation for anaphase. Growth factors, the size of the cell, and the nutritional state of the cell are all contributing factors in cell cycle regulation, ensuring that only certain cells divide at appropriate times. Once all the checkpoints in interphase are cleared, mitosis can occur. From interphase to cytokinesis, the entire process of cell division can take on average 10 to 20 hours in a typical plant or animal cell. Depending on the nature and use of the cell, the process can happen at different frequencies as well. In humans, our skin cells have a high turnover rate due to wear and tear and go through mitosis very frequently, whereas other cells, such as adult neurons and muscle cells, rarely divide. The accuracy of mitosis, as well as the consistency of the checkpoints during interphase, ensure that most cells in a eukaryotic organism can produce identical copies of themselves. This process allows for growth and repair to prolong overall physiology as well as life itself.
Both of these processes, along with the cytokinesis that follows them to split the cytoplasm, are involved in making new cells. Mitosis results in body cells. Meiosis results in sperm and egg cells, otherwise known as the fancy term gametes. Before we start mitosis and meiosis, let's look at what you start with. Your starting cell in both mitosis and meiosis is diploid, written here as 2N. That means it has two sets of chromosomes. In humans, that's including one set of 23 chromosomes from mom and one set of 23 chromosomes from dad. 46 chromosomes total. During interphase, the cell duplicates the chromosomes. When you duplicate 46 chromosomes, you still say there are 46 chromosomes, as the newly duplicated portion is still attached at the centromere region. But there are actually 92 chromatids. Interphase isn't part of mitosis or meiosis, but it's a really important phase because it duplicates chromosomes before we get started. Just to point out, it's really hard to draw 46 chromosomes. We're going to use 6 chromosomes in our diagrams when we illustrate what's happening, because it's much easier to draw and visualize. Oh, and just a fun fact, some insects have 6 chromosomes, like mosquitoes. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of mosquitoes, but mosquitoes do both mitosis and meiosis. When learning the stages, we give the acronym PMAT, which is helpful for understanding the stages. Both mitosis and meiosis go through these stages, but meiosis goes through them twice, and therefore has a number next to each PMAT stage. We're going to show some basic events for each PMAT stage, but please know that there is way more detail to explore than what we can include in this quick video. Prophase and mitosis. Remember that pro can mean before, and this stage comes before the others. The chromosomes are visible. We say they're condensing, which means they are thickening. prophase 1 in meiosis. Happening here too, but the chromosomes are actually going to match up with their homologous pairs. The word homologous means that the chromosomes are approximately the same size and they contain the same types of genes in the same locations. With each pair, one came from mom and one came from dad. In this formation, chromosomes can transfer their genetic information and exchange it between each other. It's called crossing over. It can make for what we call recombinant chromosomes. Metaphase in mitosis. The nuclear envelope which had surrounded the nucleus was already disassembled before metaphase even started. For metaphase, I like to remember the M for middle, because in this stage, the chromosomes line up in the middle of the cell in a single file line. Metaphase 1 in meiosis. The chromosomes are in the middle as well, but they're still going to be in pairs in the middle of the cell, so it's not a single file line. Anaphase in mitosis. I like to think as the A for away, the chromatids are pulled away by the work of the spindles. They are moving to opposite sides of the cell. Anaphase 1 in meiosis. Same thing, but in this case, it's the chromosomes, not chromatids, being pulled away to opposite sides of the cell. Telophase in mitosis and telophase 1 in meiosis. The chromosomes are actually at the complete opposite ends, and new nuclei are forming on each side to make two new cells. And they are starting to surround the chromosomes on both sides, as this will eventually form two cells. Cytokinesis follows to split the cytoplasm to complete the actual dividing of the cell. So at the end of mitosis and cytokinesis, we end with two identical diploid cells. In humans, they would both have 46 chromosomes. This is great for organism growth. Growing requires making more cells, after all, or replacing damaged cells. On to meiosis 2. Prophase 2. Chromosomes are condensing in both cells. It's not going to be as eventful as it was in prophase 1 because they're not going to have homologous pairs and crossing over. Metaphase 2. M for middle, but this time the chromosomes are in a single file line, similar to how metaphase looked in mitosis. Anaphase 2. Think A for away. This time, though, it's actually the chromatids that are getting pulled away. Telophase 2. Chromosomes are at the complete opposite ends, and new nuclei are forming on each side to make these new cells. Cytokinesis will follow meiosis 2 to completely split the cytoplasm. We are now finished with meiosis, and we end with 4 non-identical cells. Gametes. Males make sperm cells in meiosis, and females make egg cells in meiosis. These gametes are haploid, meaning they have half the number of chromosomes as the original starting cell. In the case of humans, the resulting cells would each have 23 chromosomes. By the way, when a sperm and egg cell combine, it results into a diploid cell, a fertilized egg, otherwise known as a zygote, which will then start a series of divisions using mitosis to give rise to a brand new organism. Well, that's it for the Amoeba Sisters, and we remind you to stay curious.